Okay, so for the upper bodice, we'll be making use of the full scale bodice. This is a bodice without a dart. It doesn't have a dart. This is the center front and this is the center back. Okay, this is already my full scale bodice. So we're going to alter it to a princess dart line. All right. So all you need to do is please, if you're a beginner, okay, and you want me to make a tutorial on how if you want a tutorial on how to draft a full scale bodice, please let me know. Okay, this our tutorial actually is for intermediate students, so if you're a beginner here, you might find it a bit difficult, but I'm sure if you're following, you'll get one or two things. All right, so I'll go straight to draft my princess dart line. All right, so let me just do a recap. This is the chest line, this is the bust line, this is the waist line, okay, and this is the hip line. So I'll just get my nipple to nipple measurements. The nipple to nipple is 4 inches. All right, so for this I'll get 4 inches starting from the bust line. This is 4 inches. On the waistline, I'll mark 4 inches as well. And on the hip line, I will mark 4 inches. Okay, so I'll connect the lines. So on this bust line, I'll just come down a little. I don't want the bust, I don't want it to hit on the bust line. So I'll just maybe half an inch or even less than that. I'll just come down a little, maybe 0.3 inches. Okay, so I'll come down, I'll connect the lines. So on the hip line, I'll come up by 2 inches, okay? So I'll take my dart intake now, all right? Half inch on the waist, I will take half inch on the right and half inch on the left, okay? This pattern has extra 1 inch allowance, so that is why I didn't add paper. I didn't add any paper to increase my what is it called, my measurement. So I have extra 1 inch here. That is what I'm using for the dart. Okay, so I'll just include it. Okay, so I'll just connect it now. So I connected from the bust to the waist, from the waist to the hip. I will do same for this other side. So this is it, all right? So I'll come to this armhole now. I'll just take the midpoint, all right, of the armhole. Let me connect my shoulder line properly so that I'll know where it stops. So this is my shoulder line. So the midpoint will be around 3.5, okay? So I'll just connect this to the armhole, all right? Okay, so you see how I connected this from here. See how I manipulated my curve ruler. Just from here I connected it like so. So just make sure everything aligns so that you just connect it direct. Don't make it too curvy. Okay, this is not a bust here, just a princess line. All right, so I'm just going to just take a little, what is it called, darts, gaping darts. Let me take a little gaping dart so that it won't gape when I wear it, though it's not going to be that tight. So I'll just take 1/2 inch. So I'll connect it back. Okay, so that 1/2 inch I took, I will extend it here. This is the 1/2 inch, so I'll connect it. So if you didn't know how to make a princess dart before, this is how to make a princess dart. So I'll just connect it back to the armhole. This new line, I'll connect it back to the armhole. That was why I added this extra paper, so that I can do this whole rough work here. Okay, so I'll connect it. So this is it. So for this part, I'll extend this line to this hemline so that I'll be able to cut it. Okay, so this is it for the front panel. So I can go ahead now and I'll alter the front. Okay, I'll go ahead and alter the front. That is the neckline. You can alter, put any neckline of your choice. All right, if you want it V-neck, any neckline, just put it. But I will leave it for now. Let me just go ahead, I'll cut it, then I'll do the back one. All right, the back panel. So we're cutting on the new line for this other side. We're cutting on the new line. This is the side front. Okay, so we're cutting out this dart intake. Don't forget the 1/2 inch. This is the side front. So this is the center front. I'll just set it aside. Okay, then I'll do the back. So for the back, we're going to do basically the same thing. All right, so I'll just grab this now. I'll come to, this is the chest line, this is the waistline. All right, this is the bust line. The bust line is faint because there's no bust at the back, so I made it faint. So I'll come to the waistline now. I'll take 4 inches. Remember, this is the center back. Okay, 4 inches. Then on the hip line, I will take the same measurement, 4 inches. All right, like so. Then I'll connect the lines. On this chest line, I'll come down by 0.3 inches. You can make it 1/2 inch or even 1 inch. Okay, I don't want that to hit there directly. Oh, sorry. On this other part, we're supposed to come up by 2 inches on the hip line. 2 inches. So I'll just erase this excess, though we'll still connect it, but just to know where our dart will. Okay, so on this waistline now, I'll just take 1/2 inch on both sides. I'll connect it as well. I'll get the midpoints as well. So you don't need to make it curvy, okay? You can just use your, don't let it to be too curvy like the front. Let me see if I'll use this. I'll just go ahead and I'll cut it out, okay? So before I cut this back, I'm going to this is the waist, right? So let me come in by 1/2 inch here so that the back can lay flat. Come in by 1/2 inch. I'll connect it to maybe 3 inches before the neckline. 3 inches, all right? So I'll connect it. So connect it from here to that point, okay? So I'll just use this curve ruler. You can use the long ruler. This one is too short. It won't connect it. So let me use this one. Okay, so I'll connect it to my hip. Let me just come up. Maybe 2 inches above your hip. So you just eliminate the back bulge with this. So let's cut it out now. All right. So just blend the edges, okay, so that it won't be very sharp. So I'll cut the back. So you see, everything is matching, all right? So that is it. I'll just go ahead and give it the neckline that I want, okay? So that is that for the cutting. So I'll go ahead also, I'll duplicate this on the fabric. If you want to use lining, you can use lining. I'll just go ahead, I'll duplicate it on the fabric as well. So when duplicating on your fabric, just add your stitching allowances, okay? On this side, I'm going to add 1/2 inch. Sorry, on the side, I'm going to add 1 inch or 1.5 inches, okay? Then all these other places, I'm going to add 1/2 inches. I'm going to add 1/2 inch. Then the zip, I'm going to use 1/2 inch to sew it. I'll add 1/2 inch zip allowance. This pattern does not have allowance at all, apart from the ease I added, which I later use it for that. As you saw that I use it for the 1 inch dart. So there's no allowance on this pattern at all. I'm going to add the allowance when I'm cutting on the fabric. Okay. So I've already pinned this one on my fabric. This is the side front, okay? This side front is going to be 2. 1 on the left, 1 on the right. So after cutting this one, I will just flip it over to the other side. I will also cut it out. See, I added this place 1/2 inch allowance, 1/2 inch, as you can see, all the way down the hemline. I added 1/2 inch allowance as well. So this is the middle, the center. This is the side front, okay? It's going to be 2-piece. This is the what is it called, the center front. See, I always label your pattern so you don't get confused, okay, when you get to the table where you're cutting it. So you see, this sign is the sign of fold. When I want to cut this one, and this part, my fabric is going to be on fold like this. When I want to cut this part, my fabric is going to be on fold like this, because this is the center front, okay? So I'll just go ahead, I'll cut out this one, I'll flip it and cut out the second one. It's not on fold. I'm cutting it one by one, piece by piece. So everything I did for this one, I'm going to do it for the back. Of course, you know that this center back is not going to be on fold because our zip allowance will pass the back, so you won't fold it. You need that space at the back to insert your zip. Let me just cut out this one and then I'll do the other one. Okay. So I'll pin it down, okay, to secure it, then I'll cut it. Let me pin it down. So this is the left and this is the right, okay. So I'll just remove the pins and I'll cut the center front. Now I'll cut it on fold. The fabric will be on fold. I'll place it and cut, okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll add ½ inch allowance here, ½ inch all round. There's no allowance. This is the center front. You see it's on fold. I folded it, as you can see. So let me just go ahead and add the allowances. So these are the pattern piece. I'm done cutting out everything, okay. This is for the upper bodice and this is for the short. All right, so I'll just set it aside. Before we go to the sewing machine, I want to show you something on the band, okay.